Today, we're going to dive into one of the most misunderstood concepts in business, operational capacity. We'll be breaking down the core ideas, drawing from the really insightful work of Mohammed Ajluni to get right to the heart of what it all means. So let's just jump right in.
Okay, so I want you to think about this for a second. A hotel has 80 rooms. Simple question, right? Does that automatically mean its capacity is 80 customers per day? The answer, it might not be what you think.
And what about this one? A meeting room has 12 seats. Does that cap its daily service at just 12 people? Look, if you're feeling a bit unsure right now, you're not alone. This confusion is actually incredibly common. This is what we can call the capacity paradox. It's that gut feeling that the physical size of something just doesn't quite tell the whole story. Today, we're going to clear all this up and completely redefine how you think about capacity in operations management. So, what is capacity, officially? Well, here's the textbook definition. Capacity is the maximum output a system can deliver over time under defined conditions. And listen, those two words, over time, they are the absolute key. If you don't have a time element, we're just not talking about operational capacity. It's as simple as that.
And this just brilliantly sums up the core idea of this entire explainer. I really want you to burn this into your brain. Capacity is not size, it is flow. It's not about how much you can hold, it's about how much you can process. And you know, that leads us to the single biggest mistake people make. They confuse these static physical limits with true operational capacity. It's like they're looking at the size of the container when they should be looking at the speed of the river flowing through it. So, these images show real-world constraints, right? You've got the load capacity of a truck, the storage space in a warehouse, the number of seats in a room. And yeah, they all matter, but they are static limits. They tell you what a system can hold, not what it can produce.
Let's go back to our meeting room example and see how this all clicks together. The occupancy, that static limit, is 12 seats. But if each meeting is an hour long and you operate for 5 hours, well, the capacity, the flow, is 60 people per day. See the difference? It's huge. One is a snapshot, the other is a video.
So the crucial point is this. Occupancy tells you how many people are in the room right now. Capacity tells you how many people you can actually serve throughout the day, or the week, or the year. It's a really fundamental shift in perspective.
Okay, so we know capacity is about flow. We got it. But, you know, in the real world, things get a little more complex. Managers have to deal with two different types of capacity. Let's break them down.
First, you've got design capacity. Think of this as the perfect world scenario. It's the number the manufacturer puts on the box. It assumes absolutely nothing ever goes wrong. No breaks, no errors, no delays whatsoever. It's a useful benchmark, sure, but it is not reality.
And that is exactly why we have effective capacity. This is the real one. This is the number that truly matters. It's what you can realistically achieve when you account for all the normal stuff that happens in a day. Scheduled maintenance, changing over equipment, and yep, even coffee breaks.
Let's make this super tangible. Say a machine has a design capacity of 120 units per hour, but when you factor in all those real-world interruptions, its effective capacity is actually 95. So, as a manager, which number are you going to base your promises to customers on? Which number do you use for your financial planning?
Well, the answer is crystal clear, and it's a critical rule for anyone in business. You plan with reality. Managers do not run operations on design capacity. They run them on effective capacity. You know, hope is not a strategy. Reality is.
Okay, now things get even more interesting. Most operations aren't just one machine, they're a process, a whole series of steps. And to understand the capacity of the whole system, you have to find its weakest link.
Imagine a simple three-step process. Step 1 can handle 60 units an hour. Step 3 can do 50. But look at Step 2. It can only process 40 units per hour. So what do you think the capacity of the entire system is? It's 40. Not 60, not 50. The entire system can only move as fast as its slowest part. That's it. Step 2 is what we call the bottleneck. It basically dictates the pace for everyone else. And this brings us to another golden rule of operations. Your system is only as strong as its weakest step. You can forget about how fast your fastest machine is. It's the bottleneck that truly defines your capacity. So, we've defined capacity, we've distinguished it from those static limits, and we've identified the bottleneck. Now let's put on a manager's hat and see how this knowledge is actually used strategically.
Let's circle all the way back to our original examples.
For a hotel, the occupancy is just the number of rooms. The capacity is the number of room nights it can sell per week or per month. For a restaurant, occupancy is the number of seats. Capacity is the number of meals it can serve per day. See, it's all about turnover and flow.
Now, here's a smart manager's secret. Good operations almost never plan to run at 100% of their effective capacity. They keep something called a capacity cushion, a little bit of extra capacity held in reserve. Why would they do that? Well, to handle the unexpected, a sudden surge in demand, a key employee calling in sick. This cushion is what keeps the whole system from breaking down.
And this is such a powerful, kind of counterintuitive insight. Pushing for 100% utilization might look great on a spreadsheet, you know? Makes you feel like you're squeezing every last drop of value out of your assets. But in reality, it leaves you with zero flexibility. It's actually incredibly risky.
All right, we have covered a lot of ground. Let's boil it all down into a few simple, powerful rules that you can take away from this whole thing.
First and foremost, always remember the time element. Capacity is not a static number, it is a rate. It's output per hour, per day, per week. It is flow. Second, you gotta learn to distinguish between true capacity and those static limits. The number of seats, the size of a warehouse. These are important constraints that shape your capacity for sure, but they are not the capacity itself.
And finally, to really understand the capacity of any process, you must find the bottleneck. Your entire system's potential is literally chained to the performance of that single weakest step.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. Capacity is the absolute foundation of everything in operations. So if you get this concept wrong, everything that builds on it, your performance metrics, your cost calculations, your efficiency targets, they're all going to be flawed. It really is that important.